Hello and welcome back to the Weekly Canon. I'm your host, Clayton. Monday, January the 12th, we're top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, into the fourth round of the FA Cup. Got a League Cup semi-final to come on Wednesday, but we can't have nice things at the Arsenal, can we? Because it has just been announced that Per Mertesacker will be leaving the club as his, I think, job title, head of academy, comes to an end at the end of the season. Uncle Mike, how are we doing? Had to put a dampener on things, didn't I?
It's all good. I think the news has just broke. It's probably, yeah, I mean, he's done a fantastic job. I don't know, but there are, I think, within the club, some concerns about the loan management of. So, brilliant job. Sad to see because he's an Arsenal man, and I like the fact that we have the club is full of Arsenal men. So yeah, sad to see, but good result yesterday. Proper FA Cup game. That was a proper FA Cup. Takes you back. Old stadium, hostile crowd, giving it. I just first time I've heard the away fans being questioned.
Our away fans question.
Yeah, did you hear that they were singing "Your supporters fucking shit"
Yeah,
and all of that?
Yeah, you're right. And they were singing, "Shall we sing a song for you?" You don't really
Yeah, and
get
I was
our
like,
away end done for like that.
I've never heard our away fan, and obviously, but then when you go when you sort of equalise and go up, then they're quiet and
I don't know. I do think they were all right, their fans.
No, they were right, but then I mean, our songbook comes out in the away
Yeah.
end, so it got to that. But no, it was a really good 10 changes, big lineup to talk about. So should we go through it?
Yeah. I obviously brought it up just because I didn't know how else to. It felt weird to not bring it up. But like, is there anything you want to say on Mertesacker? Or like, I said to you before, I don't feel educated enough to know the details of what he was doing. Not to downplay his job, but just I follow the top talents that may get fast tracked to the first team. Outside of that, I don't really pay attention to the processes in the academy. And like, I know there's like a docu-series on YouTube. I haven't really watched any of that stuff. All I'd say is similar to you, done an amazing job from what I'm aware of. Sounds like it was very, very highly respected within the environment. Sounds like he had a big part to play in kind of implementing new standards for developing people as well as young players and young men. And obviously, we've had some. I never know how much is down to the management versus just the raw talent. But when you've had a Miles, an Ethan, a Max Dowman coming through, Marley Salmon making I don't think that was his actual debut, right?
No,
I
he
feel like
played
he's
in
played for
Champions League, didn't he?
yeah,
It came on in
domestic.
Champions League as well, yeah. But then
But still,
you had Heaven to that obviously went to
yeah,
United, Hutchinson. There's been a few, if you want to say Obi Martins as well. So we've had a few high profile academy prospects coming through. But I think we need to get to the stage where I'm not sure if this is why it's anything to do with Mertesacker, but we kind of need to get to the stage where City use the conveyor belt of the academy and you're racking up 25, 30 million pound players or sales from your academy. We're not like that as a club at Arsenal. We treasure our boys and we treasure our darlings and we keep them for probably too long in some cases where I think, and that's why I was going to mention it later and I dropped it in my group chat earlier. Miles Lewis-Skelly is here sailing this summer.
oh fuck it hell. All right, well, I did have a great sleep last night, so I might be a bit cranky. But yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it because his performance is definitely worth talking about. I'm joke. I am cranky this morning, but it is a conversation point, right? He is
At some point in the season, it's a conversation. Not now.
No, we can have it today.
Yeah.
But yeah, just want to kind of bring it back quickly before we do discuss the lineup and then individual performances and stuff. But Christopher Tellis is in. Afternoon, mate. He says BFG did a great job in many aspects of the academy, but I do hope his replacement places a lot of focus on working on the loan system, which is, I think, what you said, right? Like maybe that's part of the reason. And he says he feels like that's been neglected a lot. So yeah, maybe that is something that they're looking at behind the scenes. But yeah, I am not educated enough to know the intricacies of what his day-to-day remit was. From a helicopter view, I feel like he did a good job. And yeah, hopefully with change, there's always opportunity for growth, right? So like hopefully someone else can come in take advantage of the kind of foundations he's done and hopefully add another layer.
I also trust the club that at this point that they'll make the right appointment. I think I've got to that stage that you're always going to lose staff along the way, and you just hope that as you say, that they do install the right guy who continues the values of the club. So
yeah, no, well said. But yeah, should go on to the lineup. I just want to say, as much as I say Portsmouth's fans were good, and when I say that, I mean in the sense of like they were giving it. There is nothing. I need to be very careful how I choose my words here, because those that are in group chats with me will know the words I am not going to use here that are used in group chats. There are pockets of the UK and pockets of stadiums within the UK that attract a certain breed of character. And that breed of character, when they give it to a Martinelli who then responds with a hat-trick, I just want to say, off you fucking trot. You've seen the Arsenal, now fuck off home. It was very, very... I don't know what the word was. Just, I was laughing. Because, like, I don't agree with what Martinelli did in the week against Bradley, but like, I do think it was massively blown out of proportion. I thought Slot spoke well about it. And, like, there is this thing in pockets of the UK where like everyone bums Liverpool, Man United, like the Northwest. Like there's this affiliation that pockets of the UK, even if you're down south, will have with you can't touch a Liverpool player, you can't touch a Man United player. And I think Martinelli in away grounds across the country now, I think is going to get booed because there is this kind of affiliation that pockets of the UK have with those sort of clubs. So I was just so fucking happy to see him get a hat trick, shut them up. He could have scored a fourth, hit the post, didn't he? Was it the post or something? But yeah, I don't know. Their fans are, again, there will be people listening to me right now that are in the group chat that will know the words I used. I will tell you off air, but like there are just grounds in the UK that have certain types of fans where I'm like, fuck me, you are a different breed. So Portsmouth, off your fuck, mate. Into the fourth round.
Does it include the word lampposts?
You've lost me there.
That's the kind of lampposts and flags is the kind of
caravans.
Oh, okay.
I need to clarify the lamppost bit because maybe
people that like summer holidays, yeah, going on the caravans. Yeah, I know.
Another word is beginning with P.
Yeah, I know.
Like
Yankees. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Anyway, there was just something.
I agree. He will be targeted, and that's down to the influence that Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher have. And I thought Slot spoke absolutely brilliant about it, and I think. Yeah, he went up so much in my estimation, that guy, on just purely on that comment. I've grown to dislike him more and more every week with his constant excuses, his constant going on about set pieces. But the way he spoke about that, I think, really diffused or should have diffused the situation. The problem is you've got Sky Sports that need to fill 24 hours of coverage, and it's amazing. I'm a shift worker, so I watch Sky Sports is on a fair bit in the background for me, and 80% of that programming is talking about Arsenal in some form or another. And it's just constant content, and it just gives them hours and hours more of a different angle of content. So yeah, he was a silly boy, and the other thing, I don't know if you listened in the commentary, they mentioned it about 8 times in the commentary. Martinelli.
I heard Gary Neville's bit.
Martinelli. No, in this commentary, Martinelli's had a difficult week. He's had a challenging week, but they mentioned it 8 fucking times. Like, all right, we know what happened, but
can I just be honest? I just don't think it was that deep. Like,
no,
and that's why I thought Slot's comments were spot on. Like,
yeah,
we saw Gabriel try to lift Havertz up, right? You see this shit happening where, like, and unfortunately, it's the boy who cried wolf. Unfortunately, in that moment, Bradley was actually injured, but it happens so often in the modern game that it was the boy who cried wolf. And unfortunately,
Liverpool went out 8 times for time wasted in that game. And the 8th time, he happened to try to push off a player that was actually injured. He didn't know he was injured. it was a storm in a teacup. Move on, man. Move
Yeah,
on.
but I'd understand it if he doubled down and stuff, and like what you're saying about how up.
yeah.
But he apologized straight after, like nip it in the bud, and I don't know, like you say on the commentary, they kept making a big deal. So like the fact that what Chris says kind of sums it up. The fact that he scored his first hat trick just days after all the media reaction about him, it was just incredible timing. And yeah, same as you, Chris. I love that for him as well. But yeah, lineup. We were obviously discussing it on Friday, I think it was, or whatever day we did the preview, and we were talking about a lot of the names that started. We were debating how does Nwaneri get in the team. He started. We'll talk about him. We thought Marino Eze would. We didn't. None of us said Marino Eze 6. And fucking hell, what a performance that was. We obviously said about Kepa. I think we pretty much got, whether or not we got the positions correct, I think we pretty much got most of them, other than maybe Martinelli. We thought, would he play? But yeah, it was good to see. Fully rotated team, 10 changes other than Gabriel. I think it made sense with what's available at the minute. I think if a Mosquera was available, you're seeing 11 changes, or even a Hincapié or Calafiori. But yeah, what did you make of the lineup when it dropped?
It was really it was something I really wanted to see, and it just, I mean, to make 10 changes and come out, there were flaws in our game in the first half an hour. Certainly a bit of sloppiness in the first 5 minutes from Madueke, who I want to talk about. But yeah, it was that's what the squad's there for, and I think that's what we spoke about on Friday, wasn't it? That you've got a squad now deep enough that you should be challenging. You know, I don't like this. There's no excuses bollocks. But when I see a team that can go out and change with that amount of quality or changes and perform the way we did in the context of the 90 minutes. It's exactly where we want to be at this stage of the season, and I'm so excited. And I want to talk about it a bit later. Is that to see that we got striker options now with Kai, Jesus, and Gokaresh, and I just think that again, it's where we want to be. You've got Madueke, who is on form. He's having a bit of a hot streak. You've got Saka, who's having a little dip. So it's nice to see that you could have Madueke coming in to fill that role, taking minutes off important players, sitting down Zubimendi, sitting down Rice. Yeah, there were a couple of things that some players didn't do or were a little bit anonymous, but overall, I wouldn't have. I think the lineup was perfect, and I think that's going to lead into later what we go into for the Chelsea game. Because I think there will be stronger changes in that game. But we said if Ethan or Eze doesn't get minutes in this game, when are they going to get minutes? So
yeah, exactly. If I can suggest something, we've not ever really done this, but I'm just trying. There's a lot of individuals that I think we need to cover. Can I just name them one by one back to front, and we'll just do it that way? Because I don't think this is a game we need to like. It was 10 changes to the 11. I don't think we need to talk about tactics, style of play and stuff. I think if we cover off the individuals we need to cover, we'll pretty much cover off the game.
Yeah.
Kepa, I don't think there's much to say other than I thought he could have done better for the goal, to be honest. I did think he flapped it straight at him. Big Benny Blanco was fucking great to see him back. You can tell he's lacking a little bit of sharpness and rhythm, but no dramas. That's how you rebuild it. I love when he just twatted into someone. He put his body on the line to block one. I fucking love him. So it was good to see him get some minutes. Chip in whenever you want, by the way. There's going to be the obvious ones that I'll ask for the detail, but
Benny White, it was just nice to see. You can really tell the difference between the attacking option that he brings by those overlaps, and because he's done it so many times, and you can see Timber's Timber, and I love Timber, but there is an upgrade on the connection that you can get on that right hand side with White. Maybe Timber will never get that side of the game. He's still working on it, but I think White is still a little bit vulnerable at the back compared to Timber, obviously, because Timber's brilliant. But it was so nice to see him, especially after the setback that he had. You know, when he went played those 4 games in a row, went out for 4 weeks, and then you're thinking, oh shit, is he ever going to come back to his best? But I think it was a perfect game for him, wasn't it, Ben White? And I'd start him with. There's the question again for later, but do you start him for Chelsea? But I think it was really, really good to see him.
Yeah, I agree. It's a shame that Forest is an away game on Saturday, because I almost think between Chelsea, I think we should go full strength Chelsea, in my opinion. And I think we more or less will give or take 1 or 2. But if the game after Chelsea was literally Forest at home instead of away, or just a bottom 8 team at home, I think you'd see your White come back in the side. But maybe this is the thing. Maybe he just has to trust them a little bit more. Because I'm thinking, we'll get to it, but I'm thinking, like, can Saka play against Chelsea, Madueke, Forest away? Can Timber play one of them, White play the other? Like, and I just don't know what way round. But yeah, we'll get there. But agree, it was nice to see him reintegrated. Christian Norgard, thought it was tidy from him. There was little details in the first half. He was doing the bloody Saliba step into midfield that we saw in one game, what John Stones used to do. He did it very briefly and then it kind of stopped, but very composed, very good performance from him. Yeah, I hope he has a chance to get some more minutes as we progress in this competition. And I am not so... A lot of people have said it's kind of... He should have had more minutes in the league. I personally am in the minority where I understand why he doesn't. I do think he's looked good against Palace, against Portsmouth. I do think, in my opinion, I'm not saying I'm correct with this, but what I believe in the Premier League, in the high contest games, I do think he'd get found out a little bit on the ball relative to the opposition that he maybe played in. So I personally feel it's been okay how he's been used and how little he's been used. And I like that he's been used against your Palace in the Carabao, what was that, quarterfinal, Portsmouth third round. He'll hopefully play in the 4th round. I don't lose any sleep over the fact that he's not had much more Premier League minutes, but hopefully he can be... If we're winning games 3-4-0, he'll get more minutes. So attackers, do your job.
Uncle Norgard, just come on, Uncle Norgard, just do the job.
Norgard.
Just take a few minutes off of, again, you're allowing people to sit down. That's why I like that. So I have no problem with the amount of minutes that he's had. Yeah, you could possibly argue, but you go back to the context of those games, I don't think he could have stood up to those. You know, there was it Wolves at home, people were saying, or there was a couple of games that he could possibly have played in, but we really needed the players on the pitch in those games. They didn't turn out to be as easy as we thought. Then there was a game where we could have argued you could have sat Rice down for a game, but no. It's just a shame the goal wasn't given to him. That's the only.
Yeah, true.
That's only. But do you know who scored the own goal? Do you know the relevance?
I don't.
Do you know who he is the son of?
I don't have a clue.
So it was Lozelle that scored the own goal.
Who?
And Jason Lozelle.
Okay.
And Jason Lozelle is his dad, who used to play for Tottenham. Play for Tottenham.
Ha!
So
what a helmet!
It was just a nice little added touch that the own goal was scored by the son of a Tottenham player.
It does make me laugh that, like, we're 1-0 down at this kind of... It's the giant killing that everyone wants, right? And then soft old Arsenal, 2 set pieces, off you fucking trot. It's I'm starting to embrace it more than be annoyed by it.
Oh, I love it, mate. Do you know what? Because it ruined so many roast dinners yesterday. People were tucking into their roast dinners, choking on potatoes yesterday as we were scoring set pieces. How many corners did we have yesterday? Do you know?
I actually don't know. Do you know, or do you want me to check?
6 corners, scored from 3. That is a mad.
It's crazy. It is genuinely crazy.
And then that's why people were saying it's not sustainable. Well, those deliveries, it's all on a delivery, isn't it?
Madueke's improved his as well in a short period of time.
You can tell that he's been working on that, because I've read interviews about Madueke, and I do want to get onto him.
We'll get there. If you can tell, I'm kind of
cool. Sorry, go for it, mate. Go for it.
Carry on.
No. Where are we? So we're on.
All I wanted to say on Gabriel was, like we had no choice, in my opinion. I don't think as good as Salmon looked when he came on, I don't think I think we had the ability to bring him on because of the team we started, if that makes sense. So it was good once the job was done, took Gabby off. Maybe over the course of Chelsea, Forest, what's after Forest? Is that Inter? Maybe in that period, maybe Mosquera comes back, maybe Calafiori comes back, maybe Nkapie comes back. So maybe Gabby sits one of them out. Who knows? But yeah, no other choice in my opinion. And yeah, not much to say on him. Lewis-Skelly, take it away, sir.
Concerned.
I know.
Question.
Sorry, I know. I just said take it away. I'd just like to ask you what do you think has happened? Because that's what I
That's what I was
struggle
going to
to.
ask you, Duke. I was just going to
Yeah,
ask you, like, when was the last time? I can remember once last season, right? I'm not talking this season. Last season, I remember once, and it was, I think it was very early on. It was that Liverpool game at home where he came on, and I don't know if he came on or he started, but
he came on. You're right.
we came on him, and that he made that, he jumped a little bit too early, and the ball was over the top from Trent. Salah got in and they scored, right? And it was a mistake by Lewis-Skelly. Okay, that was the last time, or the only time I can remember last season that he made a mistake like that, a defensive vulnerable, where he looked defensively vulnerable to me. Because when we were going up against the likes of PSG and Real Madrid, we were all shitting ourselves that if we didn't have Miles there, we were going to get absolutely skinned on that wing. And he played superbly in those games with no fear, full of confidence, and he pinned world class players, put them in their pocket. So what has happened to him since then? That we're now looking at him as the weakness in our team. And not just that, we've yes, there's minutes, but he just looks so vulnerable. And you're looking vulnerable against the Portsmouth winger, you know, and I don't know. You could say confidence. He just looks a yard off, and it's not as though I could almost understand if he was playing alongside a Mosquera or possibly in Nkapie or even a makeshift defence. But you've got the big man there next to you who should be able to, which was how he was playing with last season. You know, we sometimes give the players when they come in and they play in a disjointed team, but he's got to play his way through this. He made. I give him the credit. There was a couple of moments there was a little bit of positive, and he had that Miles of old where he'd go forward and he'd just break forward, and the free kick that he took was very, very clever. So I want to credit him there. But I think, is he getting the ability or the confidence to go forward front footed, and that part of his game, is that getting knocked out of him where he's got to be because I think that is his strength, isn't it? Is the ability to nip in quick. I don't like the fact that he does go down. You talk about Marino going down. He goes down ahead, you know, and 50-50 he's getting challenges, he's getting called down because the refs aren't buying it every single time. So that all leads into me, unfortunately, I'd look at is it one for a loan or is it one for a sale? That's the summer thing. But I'm concerned that there's something that's happened in his game from last season to this season, and it's not just confidence to me. So I don't know how you feel.
There's things I think I can explain to myself, and there's things I can't. The things I think I can explain are when he plays that left back role, his biggest strength is, like you say, when he can come inside and just drive through the heart of a team, right? And for whatever reason, think I wish there was a way to back this up statistically. I have a feeling he's not playing inside as much when he plays left back. He is just kind of a conventional left back. And I think that takes away one of the biggest strengths. And I do wonder if there's a thing in football, right? Like I remember when I used to play as well. Like I'm a big confidence player, and like I'm a 6, I'm a centre midfielder, so I need to touch and feel the ball a lot to build my own confidence in a game. And if I hadn't touched the ball for 10, 15 minutes, I almost got a bit sheepish. And I do wonder if the equivalent for him is when he arrives in the center of the park and he feels the ball and he has his first action is to drive, it builds his confidence to the level that he feels he can defend those duels out wide. I do wonder if he starts the game isolated and out wide, it's maybe a confidence thing and his ability to attack and be aggressive and duel, because he looks like a boy. He looks like an academy boy. And last year, like you said, against PSG at the Burnabout, he looked like a man. He didn't look like, you have Bellerin where he came in he looked like a boy that really impressed. Miles looked like a man last season. He was a fucking powerful duel-winning dribbling monster driving through the heart of teams. You only have to look back to Atletico this year where he did that. He did this kind of trademark move, shimmied on, drove through the heart of it, played Martinelli, and then he scored. That was this season. So the things I can explain, in my opinion, are that aspect of the role has tweaked. And maybe I was going to say the things I can't explain is him just looking weak, but maybe I have explained it in the sense of like maybe it is a confidence through like actions in a game, in my opinion, either add to your confidence or take away. And I think by him starting as a default out on the left, it doesn't give him the ability or the momentum to build his confidence to then think, okay, do you know what? I've had 6 to 8 actions. Each one of them has built my confidence. This is my first duel out wide. I'm going to go fucking kill him. I think he's starting cold, and I don't, mate. That's how I'm just verbal diarrheaing here. That's
You've taken the space away from him that he excelled in most, haven't you? You've explained it to me that's his strength, is doing that, and he's not able to do that as much. And now he just looks like a left back who's struggling with balls over the top. He's positionally not correct, doesn't know when to go in, doesn't know when to stay, and just seems to be getting done. So yeah, I do think there's a concern, but we've got to see it though. I've always thought that Arteta, he said it before, he doesn't put players in positions where they can't show their best strengths. But at the moment, I'm not seeing that with Miles, and I don't know what Arteta could do to change that.
Well,
I mean, were you just going to ask? Are we so used to seeing Calafiori coming in and being a flying Italian stallion that it's sort of showing up what Miles? I mean, we have to also say Miles is 19 years old. He's a midfielder that has been converted into a left back, and you cannot just do that overnight. And he almost done it on adrenaline last season and went and flew through it, just go through it, and then he's had a little bit of a dip. Players do. I don't want to. There's me saying I want to sell him in the summer. It's not. I'm not saying.
No, you didn't say that.
Is it something to be considered in this day and age of PSR? But I think I don't want to give up on an academy player that's got a huge amount of talent, but we need to put him in a position where he's showing the quality that he has, and I don't think he's. As I say, what could you do to enhance that?
So if I could say one thing, I feel very relaxed about his long-term situation. I wonder, these gay links, I've always had a sneaky, like the last 12, 18 months, Miles will end up as a midfielder. And these gay links make me think, is that to then free up Hincapié to just be a left back? Miles then be a midfielder, because I think the attributes Miles possesses when in that zone of the pitch are very unique. Like, you've got to have some fucking balls in you to be that press resistant, bait people. It's risky where you do it sometimes, but it's high risk, high reward. And there are things in him that you can't really coach attitude wise. He's just got it. And I do think long term his future will end up being as a midfielder. And I just think this is a painful part of the education process for him that he has to go through. I have to say, Arteta has a big responsibility here, because with Ethan, I think I've been very relaxed because Miles made himself an ever-present in our first 11 last year. Ethan hasn't got to that point, in my opinion, because he was feeling. I know Miles benefited from injuries, but I don't think Ethan ever staked his claim the way Miles did. I do think we were talking about Miles being England's left back. I don't think we were ever talking about Ethan being England's so and so for this summer as much as we think he will be beyond that. So, like, Ethan is, in my opinion, at the right level for his development, and he hasn't been exposed to that level of playing time yet. Whereas with Miles, it's like we've seen it. What's going on? I think Arteta needs to manage this really, really smartly because I'm not thinking about just a normal academy prospect here. I think this guy has attributes that can make him one of the best around in what he does. That he needs to be nurtured carefully. He needs to be like, this is a very, very fragile moment in his development, in my opinion, that really needs to be nurtured. And like, I get there's fogging standards and this and that, but sometimes you have to realize there's a 19-year-old boy here, like, arm around the shoulder, build his confidence up. Like, I think there's a time to kind of, maybe I'm being soft, but I think there's a time to bollock those standards into people, and there's a time to be like, you're an exceptional talent. I can see you're not feeling yourself at the minute. Let me build you back up. And I I hope we do that because I think he's a phenomenal talent. And so, like, I personally, I'm not as precious about this whole they're an academy boy, therefore we have to keep them. I like, maybe I'm ruthless. If they're good enough and they're an academy boy, I care. I don't care. Like a Jenkinson, I didn't care. Like, he wasn't good enough in my. Like, I know he wasn't an academy boy, but you get it. He was a fan that came in and stuff. A Miles, maybe I need to set my expectations, but I have very, very, very high hopes for what he can be. More than an Ethan in some senses, just because of his, I don't know, his profile and his attributes and what we've seen. But yeah, it's a delicate moment that we really need to manage carefully. I personally wouldn't contemplate selling in the summer because I do think this is recoverable, but you have to see if it stays like this every game until the summer, then stocks plummet very quickly, right? And so do reputations. So I think it is going to be one to watch each week. And I'm not kind of putting myself into any camp like I have with Gyökeres. I think I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. I think this guy is exceptional. And I just think he's going through a rough patch at the minute, and it is recoverable.
Yeah, well said.
Mikel Merino, Sergio Busquets. What the fuck was that?
What a guy. Oh, what a performance. I love the guy. I just think we've spoken about it in the past, and I think we still can't work out. It's the Merino conundrum of what is he? Where does he play? What's his best position? I don't give a shit. The guy needs to be in our team. He's almost at that point. You got to find a place for him at some. I don't know. Captain for the day. Is he grown up in the room?
It was interesting. He was captain over Big Gabby.
Yeah. Very, so pleased for him. He's a very, very intelligent player. You can tell.
He'll be a gaffer, won't he?
He's the Arteta on the pitch, and he's an Arteta. You can tell he just loves him. But he does everything measured. So he's got a lovely couple of passes, aggressive, knows when to put it in. He was just holding us together. I just love this performance. I think he was superb, and it was so good to see because I've questioned him playing further back than up front. I think there is his style. He's still got his turns like a cruise ship sometimes, and he's got all.
Mate, he was doing fucking Maradonas. I was like, "What? Who's this?"
And he's just unbelievable. So I think I love him. Fantastic squad player, and that's the sort of player that does push you over the line to win trophies. Is that you could bring in someone like that, and you could play him anywhere, and to know that, to feel confident that you could play him at the 6 with that. With Ethan and Eza like that, and then you've got your your two wide men, and you can sit there and cope. It just gives you the confidence. There are other options that you can play if you do want to sit Rice down for a game, or if you do want to sit Zubi for a game. You can almost have the Norgard. I'd rather Merino there than Norgard. If you are going to rotate. So yeah, I just think it was. A captain's performance, 9 out of 10 performance for me.
Right. he is a very confusing player for me because I think he is technically inconsistent. I think he sometimes clubs the ball with the heel. I think his touches are sometimes not clean, and he rocks up at Fratton Park, and mate, that was one of my favorite individual performances of our season. And I don't know if it's because I'm a six, so I just gravitate towards those sort of players. But like, I was in awe, like, and it's the tiny, nerdy, so sad details that I was in awe of. Like the ball would be at Norgard, and he's positioned himself vertically to Norgard. That when the ball goes to Gabriel, he then moves because he knows Gabriel can just pop it off to him and he'll lay it out to the left. And it's like those little details. Like I've never doubted his intelligence, but I have to be honest. I've found him technically inconsistent because sometimes when he's in midfield, he doesn't control the ball. He doesn't complete a clean pass, but his finishing is exceptional. And then you see him play as a 6 versus an 8, and like a joke, he was doing, but he did a Maradona to get out of. He was being pressed and created 3-4 yards for himself. Like he is so intelligent that I almost think, as much as we're like, is he a striker? I would like to see this again. I have to remember it is Portsmouth who are, what did we say, 21st in the championship, but still, like there are translatable things that I can see to a higher level where just the ability of knowing, like again, as a 6, you just know where you need to be at all times, and he was always between the centre backs as an option. He knew when not to be an option and when to like kind of attract someone towards him to free someone else off. His ability to understand where the triggers were for him to move to then free someone else. It was art. It was it's so in awe of it. The move where he did a 1-2 or someone, then leathered it into Martinelli. Martinelli controlled it outside the foot. Great first touch that was, by the way. And then could have done better with the finish. But one of my favorite individual performances of the season. And I know that sounds a bit tin pot because it was a 6 away at Portsmouth in the FA Cup third round, but I didn't know he had that in him. And like to the point where my mate was doing the predicted lineup, Andrew, and he was saying Marino is a 6, and I was like, no, I don't think he's got it in him because and the reason I said that wasn't the brain, it was the feet. I've seen technical inconsistencies. And I hope this wasn't a one-off. I really hope this is something that can be replicated because yeah, it was really, really impressive. As
But it's nice. It's nice in the games like this that you can find players and find a position, find a role, find another notch that you can think, oh, we can actually, if he does do that again, that I'm gonna trust him to do that again. And I think Norgard and uh, Marino have both done that in this game. They both got it into different positions that they're not their normal positions, and you can say right. And they're very, those guys are grown ups. They're professional players, ideal squad players, and that's what you want out of an away to Portsmouth. The next game, whoever we might get, you've got a tricky little game in between a big league game or Champions League game. Right, yeah, let's play Marino there. Let's play Norgard there. We know that he can do that job competently. That's all that you want. So yeah, very well done.
Eze Nwaneri, you want to do them as a duo or one at a time?
Both at the same time. I think there's more to say on one than the other. Eze, I don't think there was not much end product. I think there was a couple of nice moments, a couple of nice shimmies, a couple of nice passes. But one thing I noticed was the intensity of his off the ball runs. I've never seen him run so hard and fast.
I'm glad you said this. I'll let you finish your point
because he's obviously learnt that sitting down for 4 games, and I think I'm not worried about what he does on the ball. If he just had one of those games that he got snuffed out or whatever, I'm not worried. It's the off the ball stuff that concerned me, and I saw an intensity. I saw a hard work to get back into position, press how Arteta wants him to press. And that's the stuff that will keep him in the team. That's the stuff that will get him minutes, not being a little bit quiet in a system where you had 10 players rotated. Going forward, I would love to see Eze and Havertz And I think that's what I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, that's what I will say on it. What do you want to say on him, mate?
Oh no, I just wanted to agree with you because all I've seen is people saying about him off the ball, and I was quite impressed with him off the ball in this game. And even I'm having a fucking mind blank. It was the last league Liverpool when he came on. Like I know he didn't touch the ball, but you could see a little bit of. It's like he's had a rocket up his ass, and like that's what you kind of want with a player like that. And even in this game, like not only was he working harder off the ball, he was instructing the press in some moments, and like I just think that's encouraging because that, like you say, that's what's going to maybe keep him in the team or get him back in the team at points. Like, I agree. I just wanted to agree with you, to be honest, because I was a bit surprised with what I read about him. Like, I don't disagree on the ball; he was quiet and disappointing, but off the ball, it was a step in the right direction for sure for me. So, yeah. But Ethan, I think
Let you go. I'll let you go on him.
I was really happy. Again, it's within the context of like, is he 18 or 19? Is he 18 as well?
18.
18. It's an 18-year-old who, like, I don't want to compare him apples for apples with Miles, but like, he's an 18-year-old that hasn't been in the team at all for a long time. And he had a bit of bite about him in this. He was playing like he had a point to prove. He made mistakes. He wasn't perfect. He's an 18-year-old that hasn't been in the first team for, I can't remember the last time he played. So my expectations were show a bit of needle, show a bit of bite, show some tenacity, be yourself, make mistakes. That's part of your game. Like, if this was Man City away, semi-final Champions League, I'd get it. The bar would be higher, but he hasn't played in a long time. It's Portsmouth away. I want him to be in an environment where he can make mistakes and he doesn't get ridiculed for it. And so I was happy with it, and I thought he's done enough to maybe be like, okay, trust me again. Like, give me some more minutes somewhere else. Again, it's hard. I'm not knowing. I wish the Kairat game was swapping with the Inter one in terms of when it was. I wish the Kairat one was like round the corner because I do think he will go strong for Inter despite what most people may think he'll do. Or like even if he rotates, I don't think it'll be to the level where he plays Ethan there. But yeah, I was encouraged. I was happy. Was it perfect? No. Did it need to be? Also no, in my opinion.
He just needed minutes, didn't he? He just needed the minutes under his belt, and he got a good chunk of minutes as well. Until obviously Odegaard came on, and you can kind of see why that change was made. Just to give Odegaard, a few minutes or whatever, and keep Eze on a little bit longer, just to sort of try and build him up a little bit more. I think he will be used more going forward than Ethan. As you say, it was good to see some good, some bad, a little bit anonymous at times. I was focusing more on Eze watch. I was watching him. But yeah, very, very difficult position to play in as an 18-year-old. Okay, it's Portsmouth away, but they're men. It was a fight. It was a feisty game. There was challenges were flying in, and he had as you say, he had the needle. He was giving it. He was standing up to it. He was exactly what we want to see. We want to see him come in, play without the fear, and just play his game. Yes, so he's going to make a few mistakes, but you've got to make those mistakes in games like this. And I was just so pleased to see him get some minutes because we've spoken about it quite a lot on here, and it's becoming a bit of a thing for me that I was really, really concerned. But let's just hope that we can continue, get a nice easy draw in the fourth round, and that's perfect for Ethan to get some minutes under his belt. Agree with you about the swapping of the fixtures. That would be perfect, but he won't play him against Inter Milan away.
I don't think he'll play him against Chelsea either.
No, I don't. But I'd be ideal for that last Champions League game. So yeah, all in all, good. 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I think so. Arteta kind of said it. I can't remember if it was post-match or pre-match, but he said what I said on Friday. He's just unfortunately found himself in one of the most stacked squads that has ever existed. And if there's not a chance for him to get minutes this season, like there will be in the future. If he doesn't get minutes this season, we will know the draw for the FA Cup fourth round today. I think after the Liverpool game.
Yeah.
I think that may influence something because if we're talking about middle of February, there's a game for him. Kairat end of Jan, there's a game for him. I can't remember what our league fixtures are like for the foreseeable, but hopefully there's some games where I believe if we're winning 3-4-0 and he's in a match day squad, he will get your 30 minutes like he did against Leicester, Southampton of the last couple of years. But we haven't been doing that. So
it's just getting in the match day squad though, because
yeah,
that's what now you've got everyone coming back. It's just actually getting his arse out on that bench for the start.
exactly. Yeah, and this is what I wouldn't be opposed to him going on loan. I don't see what the big deal is.
He
Like,
doesn't want to, does he? He's refused it, or not to refuse.
oh, is that correct?
He's requested. Yeah. He's requested that he'd rather stay and fight for his place. So I admire his mentality.
Yeah, it's just more like what you said about the men thing. Like he got absolutely chopped by some guy that got a yellow, but like he just shrugged it off, got up, got on it with it. Like Pep did an interview, I think after the Exeter thing, and he was saying like, yeah, the environment that these youngsters need is playing with men in front of men that have like children at home and kids to feed.
Got mortgages.
Yeah, it's true, right? Not within the perfect princess environment of Hayland where you get your arse wiped for you and you got rose petals in your boots and stuff. No, it's like you go to Fratton Park and you're going to get the shit kicked out of you. I think someone like, I'm not saying Ethan needs that because he's doing anything wrong, but I think that's the best thing for his development if he can't get that with us. And I am very relaxed about why he can't get that with us, as upsetting as it is, because I see the reality of what we've got available. And I hate to say it, but it is what it is in my head. So I hope there's opportunities to play him more, but also wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him again until Kairat, as shit as that is. And I'm okay kind of sitting within that, unfortunately. Noni, mate.
Noni. Oh, I love Noni, man. I love him.
We all love a bit of Nani. Oh, what?
Yeah. I'm getting too old for that, mate. I'm too old for that. He was. I look. We got to say it. He's hit and miss, right? He is the absolute, hit and miss. But what I love about him is he just drives forward. He just wants to go. He just direct, relentless. Doesn't care if it doesn't go right or go again. Doesn't care if he bobbles it. Go again. I
feel like we can group Jesus in this description as well. Might as well do both of them.
Yeah, but I think I just love. Look, yes, there is end products that needs working on. Will he ever get to that stage? But the chaos that he causes going forward, and whoever he's up against is having a torrid game. That game, and they're not going anywhere. They're doubling up. They are having a torrid game. Working this guy, because he will just go. He's physical, he's tall, he's got so much pace to burn, and I love his attitude. It's just I'm going to go forward.
He's a cage baller, isn't he? I love it.
Exactly, and it kills the horseshoe of death for me, because if you've said it, if players make the run, the ball will get to him, and it's always that he can separate. If he's making that run, we should have enough technical players on our side that will get the ball to him. And there's a difference to Saka. He's not, we're not putting him in the same. But what he can offer you is the explosiveness. I think that Saka doesn't give you, because Saka's more intelligent. Saka will come in and he'll do this and he'll do that. His guy is just, I'm going to get you, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to take it to the byline, I'm going to cut it across, and someone's going to be in there to score the goal, or I'll win a penalty. I love him. I think his attitude. The only thing I didn't like was he was a little bit sloppy in that first 5 minutes. He was at fault for the goal.
It was his fault, yeah.
It was at fault for the goal. But then I noticed he had a rocket up his arse, and his off the work ball, like Eza, is getting better, because you will not survive in an Arteta team if you do not do that. So, and the corner taking, getting better at that. Getting better at that. You could just imagine him. From what I've heard and read about him, he's got a one-on-one coach that helps with his attacking. He stays behind it for extra hours and hours and hours, trying to improve his game. You can just imagine him standing there with Saka and Rice after the game saying, right, whip these in. When it's a different corner to Saka's, it's a different corner to Rice's. that front post technique where you've just whipped it in and you've got the Martinelli flick on. That is superb delivery. So I was really, really pleased with Nani, and I'm so glad. Not about the penalty. I think that's a piss take. I think that's
What's the
a
mistake for you? That the fact that he took it or his method of taking it?
the method of taking it. I'm pleased.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you won the penalty. We didn't have to recognise. There was no one else I would have actually
I
given
saw
it
a
to.
few people saying should Eze have taken it, but
No,
yeah,
give it to Nonny. He won it. He won it. I don't think he'll be doing that again. But what? No, as in, I don't. I think he'll take a penalty, but I don't think he'll be doing it like that again.
No.
It just makes me think because there will be big games in the future which will involve penalty shootouts, and I want to be able to trust Nani on the pitch at the end of a Champions League quarter final that he's not going to fucking do that.
Can I say something a bit weird? I'm kind of glad this happened because I do think he's shown us he is someone that learns from mistakes. So I'm glad this happened in an FA Cup third round because I think he will be practicing penalties that should we get to a quarter final, he's learnt his lesson, and I think he'll just be hopefully hitting the target with more conviction than that. So if ever you're going to miss,
just do a Panenka next time.
probably, and then hit the fucking bar. No, I just echo you. I love him. I really, really like this guy, and to the point where I want to see him play instead of Saka in some games because I think there are some games that require a little bit more chaos than precision, and it's an opportunity. It's not saying Madueke is better than Saka. It's just there are some games where I feel comfortable giving Saka the breather he needs, knowing that we have an alternative way of attacking teams. Like if I could just say right now, zoomed out, I would start Saka against Chelsea. I would start Madueke against Forest. I would start Saka against Inter, and I would feel fine with it.
And then Madueke the next one against Cairo.
I forget who's. Oh no, it's Man United after Inter, isn't it? So Saka back in. So I would have Saka against Inter and Man United. But like, if you look at the games as blocks, Forest away, similar to Bournemouth. Like, if they're gonna low block us, I'm not saying Bournemouth low blocked us, but I imagine Forest probably will. I like having him there to generate a bit of chaos. Because he's an unbelievable dribbler. The threat he provides, you're right, defenders do not relax on him. I'm not saying they relax on Saka or anything, but like there's a different level of fuck when Noni stands you up because he's aggressive, he's direct, he goes both ways. The way he angles his hips, changes direction. It's amazing. It is genuinely really impressive what he does. And the end product will come. I think I'm almost like, I don't care about the end product because take your man on 6 to 10 times. Well, okay, that's a lot. Take your man on 4 to 7 times in a game.
I'd rather that than once and then give up.
Yeah. But more like if you do that amount of times, get to the byline, say 60 to 70% of them, get the cross in 60 to 70% of that, you're just going to generate enough chaos that you either connect with someone who gets the goal or you get a Gabriel type thing at Bournemouth where there's like a second ball where someone can just twat it in.
It ricochets and goes for a corner, and then
corner,
and then you score from the corner. It's just threat. It's just, and that's what he was bought for. That's what we've said last year. We needed something different. You cannot just continue with the front forward options that we had and play in that way that we had last year. And he gives us something different, which is why, if you want to go on to Jesus, I want to talk about Jesus.
You do. You go for it.
But I also want to bring it into Martinelli, Gokaresh and Havertz as a three, because
you take this segment away. You take it away.
Yeah, it's just about Jesus. I didn't think he started very well. Look, I love Jesus, but he's so unpredictable that is he almost too unpredictable? As in for the structure of the team. Yes, if you want chaos, but he's over there, he's over here, he's over there. I think what we're going forward, it's really, I think what we will find we'll get to is we will have those combos. And I love this Martinelli and Jesus combo because I think those two play so well together. I was so encouraged by Kai coming back and
Mate,
what he
we have been
provided.
starved.
Hungry dogs for Kai, mate. Hungry dogs for Kai.
We've just been
Because what
chucked one bone and we're fucking.
and we're eating good on that one bone, because what he showed in that 20-minute cameo is what we haven't seen from our other striker. But
Can I
what
add one tiny point on that? Just
yes,
sorry to interrupt, but I really hope Gyökeres. I was going to say pulls his finger out. I hope Gyökeres contributes enough over the next month to 6 weeks where we can ease Kai back in, because I was super impressed by him. I was also super impressed by Jesus' first cameo back after injury, and I haven't really been impressed recently. So I do wonder how much is the first game back, everything psychologically, physically, you're tuned into like doing the best you possibly can, that things may then kind of peter off a little bit and just normality resumes after a long time out. So I hope Gyökeres performs well enough that we can ease Kai back in, because as much as I love him, this is almost why I love him so much, that I want to be able to rely on him for the rest of the season and not burn through him come February.
I agree. I think that's why the overview point I wanted to make was it was so nice to have 3 strikers back, all at various levels. So we're not, and this is what we're going forward. We're in January now. We're at a point where we've got Jesus is back. Had a really good game. That first game has petered off a little bit. Jesus has his flaws. We know that, and the team will perform in a way with Jesus that will perform. Kai's coming back. Needs managing. You need Gyökeres to step up, but you haven't got a very confident or informed Gyökeres. So they're all at various levels. But we're going to work through this in the next month or so, and we'll be in a different stage. And I'm loving the thought of Arteta having these options on the bench. They've all got flaws. They all have their weaknesses, but they will have their strengths as well. And it's be able to go right. And I wanted to ask you about this actually. If you've got all 3 back, we've spoken about it before, that there's a Gyökeres game, there's a Havertz game, there's a not because Jesus wasn't on the radar at that time, but there's a Jesus game. If you're looking at championship winning sides, it's normally a very settled side, normally a very settled attack. Now, I like the thought of, as in the starting 11. I like that. I think this is where we'll get to. I like the thought of when United had their 4 main strikers and they'd had 2, and then they could bring on Sheringham. They had Cole and
York and
then they could bring on Sheringham and Solskjaer. So they had these 4
City
strikers.
did it with Dzeko, Tevez,
Yeah,
Aguero.
and you sort of like bring on, and I liked it the other day when we brought on that front line of, I think it was Trossard, Saka, and it was Jesus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so I like that option, but I think you're going to have to settle on a starting striker because of the contrast between the way that Gyökeres wants to play. Jesus is Jesus, who will just fucking almost play anyone, and you've got Havertz that will play as your focal point, and that's without sort of a Marino as maybe possibly ahead of Gyökeres. So do you think Havertz will be? I'm talking when we're getting back up to speed, because I think the idea of a Havertz game and a Gyökeres game are out of the window to some extent. I think Havertz will possibly become the main focal point, with Gyökeres and Jesus as your coming on for the last 20,
just to protect his health,
just to protect, that kind of thing. Because I think those days, we said at the start of the season, this is this game, this is that game. I don't think you can win a league that way by changing your style so much from one game to. Yes, there's little tweaks that you can make, but to change from one style so much to the other, I think that could be an issue.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think at the start of the season, I was under the impression, like Man United away, Kai kind of game, pin it into him. He can hold it up. He can rotate around. He can create space for others. Your Wolves at homes. I was basically, how I was thinking it was top 6 and just tough away games, Kai. Air quotes, easy games at home, Gyökeres. and it hasn't transpired to be that way because Kai's been injured and Gyökeres doesn't get involved enough in said easy games. I think Kai will become the man until we see a system that requires something different. And until that point, Gyökeres and Jesus' role is to protect the health of Kai. I think if you see Gyökeres come in for a game, it's so Kai sits one out, as well as obviously getting Gyökeres minutes and building his confidence and stuff. But yeah, I think it's very much. I mean, just looking at the fixtures, like we've got Chelsea on Wednesday, Forest 3 days after that, Inter 3 days after that. We then have 5 days to United, 3 days Kairat after that, 3 days Leeds away after that, another 3-4 days Chelsea second leg, 4 days after that Sunderland. Then it's 5 days until Brentford before the next break. So I just think in that block alone, we're going to need to rotate people, and it's more to protect health than thinking the horses for courses thing, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Is there anything else? I feel like Martinelli, like, we covered him. It feels like I'm not doing him justice. He scored a fucking hat trick, but like it was like one was with two were headers.
2 headers. I mean, it was a
great
lovely ball. Yeah, lovely ball from Jesus. That was really good, and it's where you want your man to be, in the 6-yard box, isn't it? And that's where, rather than being on the hill, that's making the run, knowing that you're going to get the ball, rather than the hesitancy that Gyökeres has shown. And sort of, I should be there, and it's half a second too late. He's behind the defender.
One thing I really liked, someone played the ball across the 6-yard box. Marino, I think it was, fizzed it in, and Havertz should have been there. But you know what I liked? He immediately like almost laughed and smiled because he acknowledged, oh, shit, I should have been there. But I think that's rustiness. But like he just knows. And Arteta's comments on him sum it up, in my opinion. He was like paraphrasing, but I was just watching Kai, how he moves, how he knows where to be. He is so intelligent, Kai. I pray we can reintegrate him without needing to force it or rush him or depend on him. And it really requires Gyökeres and Jesus stepping up so we can get the best of Kai, because Kai is going to be so pivotal to us achieving what we want for the rest of the season.
I'll ask you a question. You bang on with that, but I also think we have to temper our Kai goal scoring expectations. Now, what we know that he's integral to an Arteta team and how we play. I'll ask you a question right now. Based on how all you can say is, I hope all 3 stay fit for the rest of the season. Okay, how many goals do you think Kai gets from now to the end of the season? And Gyökeres and Jesus.
I think Gyökeres will score more than both of them from this point till the end of the season, but it's more. You're
not judging him on the goal. You're just judging him on the impact of the team.
Yeah, he just elevates everyone around him, and he'll score goals, but it
makes everyone look better, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just creates space for others. He facilitates things in a direction that is more aggressive, more direct, with more intent. Like it's not just the goals for me. We scored 89 goals when he was our striker. I don't know how many he scored as part of that. It just makes everyone around him better. So I do think from this point till the end of the season, Gyökeres will score more goals, because there is that run in that I think the way I envisage the season unfolding, I think Gyökeres will come into a stretch where he scores goals towards the end of the season. But I think Kai will score goals, but it's almost not what I'm judging him on. I just think he will make us better as a team.
I think Gyökeres will be, what I'm kind of thinking is that you start off with Kai. I want to get back to the 3 or 4 emptying stadiums vibes, and then you're bringing on a Gyökeres 3-0 up, and he bags a 1 or 2 in the last 25 minutes in tired legs, where he can just make those relentless runs. He can just do 25 minutes of hard sprinting. Right, mate, keep making that run, keep making that run. He gets tired legs, get us the 4th goal, get us the 5th goal. I'm not relying, and maybe that will help him, that the pressure is not on him so much. And we've got to give him, he's played a lot of minutes when Kai wasn't available, and whether that is played into when he got injured, whether that's played into a little bit of a fatigue, without him, we said it before. Without him, Mourinho would have been playing every minute of every game. So, but yeah, it's one for he will have a run. He will score goals, and possibly you're right. He may well get more goals than Kai from this point. But I don't think there'll be goals that get you 1-0 up, or it's that.
No,
That's why I
agreed.
think that's where I think I'm. But I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Conscious, we've gone an hour and 5. So just want to say one more thing on Jamali Salmon. 2 actions, clamps into someone, and
Sliding tackle.
Yeah, I said 2 actions and I fucking forgot the second one I wanted to mention. But I remember there were 2 things that impressed
Done
me.
a really big sliding tackle, didn't he?
One was the sliding tackle I liked, and I've forgotten the second one. But he didn't have much to do, but I thought he looked, yeah, he did well. Like, well done to him. Good moment for him. Obviously, like you said, he's already had his debut, but good to deputise domestically for us. You good if we turn attention to Chelsea?
Yep.
So we won't do War and Peace on this. Obviously, it's a 2-leg semi-final, but I guess all I want to do is maybe just lineups, to be honest, and score predictions. I do want to say one thing on Liam Rosenior. This guy seems like a helmet, mate. He feels like AI in human form. That
reminds me of Will from In Between Us.
Is that what you say? Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, but he feels like he is a real life imposter syndrome. He over explains everything, which to me screams insecure. Like, there was an interview that came out where he was doing a snippet with Joe Cole for TNT, and he was like, I'm crazy. Maybe I'm a bit crazy. I'm like, you're not crazy. You're the most straight-edged guy ever that's pretending to be someone you're not.
Anyone that tells you that they're crazy, they ain't crazy.
They're not crazy, yeah. He just seems like a bit of a flannel. And there was one he feels like there's this. I'm studying sports psychology, right, in a master's, and there's this big culture and generation at the minute of real authenticity and or like be vulnerable and this and that. Like, a lot of I get it, but it's woke. And like, he feels the epitome to me of that new generation. I know I spoke about Miles in the context of like arm around the shoulder, but that's from the context of there's a time to stick a knife in, like Rice said that Arteta did, and there's a time to just like back off a little bit. The knife doesn't need to go in yet. Rosenior, for me, feels like the sort of guy that's just read a manual, read a chat GPT script on how to be X, and is living it. Because like, he did one interview where he was talking about building squad morale, and he just randomly went, yeah, I want to get to know the players. And Andre Santos, his wife just gave birth to, brought 2 beautiful babies into the world. And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, it feels.
Can you imagine Mikel saying that?
Mate,
Mikel will be talking about pickpockets and all that sort of shit. Not.
I can't find the words on what my opinion is, so I'm still forming it. But he feels very inauthentic. He feels very artificial, and he feels like a bit of an imposter. And I hope this doesn't come to bite me come Wednesday, but we'll see how this pans out. I got a very funny feeling about what's going to happen with him in this role. What's your vibe on him so far?
I think it's I can understand the appointment. I mean, Chelsea are just a shambles at the moment as a club. I'd hate to be a Chelsea supporter. It's what's the ambition by appointing this guy? Chelsea always used to go and get the best manager in the world and bring him in. The ambition of this guy is a yes man. He wants to be in the structure. Agree with you about him being a bit too, trying to be a bit too modern, trying to be a bit too, I'm a new age man. I think the fact that he's a younger guy might. I mean, Maresca was a bit of an edgy character. I think that the players might warm to this guy a little bit more. But as far as track records go, there's nothing. I mean, and that's the thing that made me laugh was actually what people were saying about the appointment. Isn't it fantastic that you've got a guy that's done this and he's come in and it's his first job in England in the Premiership? And like, What about
The
Mikel?
irony, yeah.
That never managed before, took this team, one blah blah blah. We all know the history and the process. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to sit back and watch whether he'll have too much influence on the game Wednesday. I'm not so sure. I'm fearful of those Chelsea fucking thugs to
I
kick us
am.
off the park. That's what I really don't want, and that's the balance that you're going to have to find. Is the lineup? It's going to be a strong lineup. I think Caicedo's missing the first game.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he's missing the first game.
That's big.
I think Cucurella could be missing the first game.
He got sent off this weekend, didn't he?
I
Oh, sorry,
think.
not in.
Yeah,
in the last league game.
I think that could also. But I'm worried about them because their whole, and especially the first leg being there. I think if you'd had it at ours and had comprehensively smacked them up, then I think it's a different atmosphere going there. Game could almost be over. It almost makes me think going into the lineups, I possibly wouldn't start Madueke because of what happened the last time he played there. I wouldn't start Kai.
If I could just say on Madueke, I also just don't think it's the right game for him.
No,
so like where I speak about,
yeah,
and nothing to do with emotions. Just I think this is a Saka game.
Yeah, but I also think I don't like that emotion. I think it could be the West Ham Rice kind of vibe going on there. I also wouldn't start Kai. I'd bring Kai on with half an hour to just build him up to half an hour rather than 25 minutes. So if you want to go through the lineup, I'm starting quite a strong lineup. I would go Raya. I think we need to start Raya. Kepa will probably be disappointed, but I'm going Raya.
No, I'm with you.
I'd go Timber. I'd go Gabriel. I'd go Saliba. I would go. You've got to go Miles.
Do you though, or do you go White right back, Timber left back?
Oh, yes, but then that's what we said though, didn't it? Yeah.
When I say arm around the shoulder, that includes, in my opinion, taking someone
putting
out
them down
of the limelight.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
That's not saying you're dropped
because it's a feisty North London. West Derby, London Derby. It's going to be hot. The atmosphere. They've got pacey wingers, and he is vulnerable. So yeah, you're probably right.
Fuck me, it's that Esteval actually, isn't it?
Yeah, they will play him. Yeah, you're right. So okay, we'll go Timber White. We'll do that. Then we'll go Zubimendi, we'll go Rice, we'll go Odegaard. I think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to take a semi. That is not in Arteta's makeup. So he will go, I think, strong. Rice, Odegaard, Saka, Trossard. I think he's going to go for it. And he will go Gokaresh up front.
Yeah, I think I agree with almost all of that. Only one I wouldn't be surprised is if Martinelli plays on the left, just for the kind of tenacity.
Get back at there, yeah. And then, I'm doing it with the double, with the thought of the Forest game, because I think then you are rotating a little bit more in that Forest game. Although I don't think you can take Forest away lightly, but I think you could. I think that's then a
Trossard
game and possibly a Martinelli game in there.
See, I see it slightly differently. You know, I almost think Chelsea away League Cup semi-final. I want Saka, Martinelli. Forest in the league. I want Madueke, Trossard. In my opinion, and I think he may do. It may not be those exact pairs, but maybe he'll share the minutes among the wide players across those two games.
No Eza then. No sign of Eza in either game.
No, don't think he's done enough to get himself back in just yet.
Yeah, see, I thought you might have judged Eza in this 4-game block of Chelsea, Inter. So Chelsea, Forest, Inter, United, and Kairat. That's the block?
I could see Eze getting minutes at Inter,
and I think he should be. So okay, yeah, maybe sitting down in this game because. Yeah, I can see that, but yeah, I was just hoping he would get some minutes. But in this game, who are you going to drop? You're not going to play him on the left. You're not going to play him ahead of.
That's what I mean.
Are you? So, yeah.
Maybe Forest. Sorry, go on.
Maybe you would play him in Forest, but you're right. You're playing Trossard with this technical security in that game, and Madueke as your chaos merchant. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if he does. Would you consider playing Kepa? Because he is the cup goalkeeper.
Nah. Maybe in the second leg, depending how it goes. But
Yeah.
this is important, like especially with how we're arriving with who's available. There is an ability to manage the squad over Chelsea, Forest, and Inter with what's available, in my opinion. So as a result, you go for it, in my opinion. Like I do think Kepa's been good, but you see that it's Raya. There's a difference. Like you go for it, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I just want to say
I don't want to be losing on Wednesday, but I'm not. I'm just so concerned about the injuries. That's all.
if you could just talk me out of something I've got in my head, please. Before I ask your score prediction, I have this horrible feeling I can't see us winning on Wednesday. Whether that's a draw or a loss, I have this thing in me. I don't know if it's based on the Liverpool game, the Chelsea game in November, our general Big Six away record this season. Well, we haven't done many of the aways other than Liverpool and Man United, and Villa. Well, Villa's not Big Six, but you get what I mean. I struggle to visualize a game where we win. And do you know what? There is a thing in this where, like, one thing I would like us to maybe step up on. We always talk about other teams and it's their cup final, and you can see it in their behaviors, their aggression, their tenacity. I'd love to see that from us. I almost don't see many games where I'm like, that was our cup final. And
Bayern Munich was that game where I know what you mean, where you're using that intensity to go, right, we are really, really going for this. This is one we're turning up for, where you do see that in every other team that play us. So yeah, I agree.
But it's like every one of those games, I feel like we're always having a conversation. They try to kick the shit out of us. They try to disrupt the play. I'd like to see us play that game ourselves. Like, obviously, try win the game. So, like, you need the game to flow. But it's almost like when we play those games, we shit the bed a little bit and we try pass and we try play pretty. I'd like to see us be cunts. Like, so I want us to go there and, like, give it some. I really want us to go there and give it some. And I struggled to picture us winning there because I don't see that, if I'm honest.
Do you think? We've said it. With the boy, these boys have got long memories, right? And I think that you remember the how the Chelsea players were having a go at Madueke. It was Madueke when he was on the floor, and who else was the other Chelsea? Who else have we got from? There was someone else that they really had a go at in the middle of the park.
What, in that game?
In that game. So they were really shouting. They put massive challenges in on players, and they were really having a go at players on the floor. Cucurella was, Enzo was. They were leaving boots in. I don't think the players like Declan Rice forgets those types of things. And I want to see us go toe-to-toe with him. Proper North London, keep saying North London derby. Proper London derby. Cup semi-final, have the intensity, have the fire in your belly to put them to the sword, because I think we owe them after that 1-1 game. I don't think we turned up in that game, and I think that's what I want to see. I love how Arteta doesn't let those things slide. I think he will get us ready for that game, and we'll know in the first 5 minutes, won't we, if we want it or not.
Yeah. No, I agree. I have to be honest with how I feel. I don't see us winning the first leg. I think a draw, I'd say a draw. I could see a 1-1 and then deal with it in the second leg, but I just hope we don't lose the first leg, because then it just puts pressure on the second one, right? And I think for me, it's a semi-final now, right? We lost to Newcastle last year in the semi-final. Like, even that's exactly what I mean. I have those things. We got eaten alive at St. James's Park.
Yeah.
I don't
didn't
want
show
that.
up. Just didn't show up.
But like, let's fix it. Let's go there and fucking win. Like, I want to go to Stamford Bridge and win, not be talking about, it's still in the balance. It's half time. Bring it back to Emirates. We're good enough to go there and win. So I want us to show it, and show it with the tenacity and the aggression that I know is in this team. But I still think it needs a little bit of a fire to get going in them sometimes. So if I'm being true to myself, I think I'm going 1-1 draw for first leg, if I'm honest. What about you?
1-0 Arsenal. Set piece FC.
We'll take it. We will take it. Kai
coming off going on that. There was a comment by Christopher. Yeah, I wanted to mention that. The guy was at Liverpool before.
Can you pronounce his name, please? So
TG
Thomas Gravison.
Yeah.
Chris's comment is, have you seen that we've hired Thomas Gronemark in a consultancy role? If rivals couldn't stand our set piece efficiency, imagine how they'll feel if we become half decent with our throw-ins. Yeah, I said in a group chat, I'm surprised it's taken us so long to work with this guy, because he's supposedly known as the guy for throw-ins, and especially with how detailed Arteta is and how bad our throw-ins have been, I'm surprised we've neglected that area to the point where I actually said, I reckon Jova got a little bit of a promotion in remit, and it was like, okay, you're doing great on the corners, you're going to get the throw-ins, and I think he's failed his probation. And we're now it's like, you stick with your corners, mate. We're getting a throw-in coach.
He worked at Liverpool. I've listened to an interview with him.
They did one on the Vision, didn't they?
Vision, that's the one I listened to. Yeah, it was very interesting. He works a lot with other clubs, but marginal gains. And as Christopher says, we are shite. Well, he didn't say we're shite, but he was kind of alluding to that. We're shite at throw-ins. Long throw-in. We get the reputation long throw-ins. No, we're absolutely shit at them. I think I am getting annoyed at how long we take to take a throw-in, because I think that's going to bite us in the arse, and we're going to get booked like we did last year, and that could cause us issues. But yeah, marginal gains, 1%. Let's go for it. Why not?
Yep. Well said.
Boil some more piss. That's all I want. Or boiling piss all over Europe.
Yeah, no, me too. But yeah, you are right with some throw-ins. We do take a day and a half. It's like, just get on with it. So curious to see what comes from this. I forgot to say, I've actually got a ticket for Wednesday. So yeah, that should be fun.
Lucky charm, mate. You're going to be the lucky charm. You're going to see us win 1-0.
I hope so. But yeah, we'll leave it there. Are we doing one on Friday after the game before Forest? We'll talk about it.
You'll work something out.
Yeah, we'll try and get something out after the game before Forest if we can. But yeah, a bit of a longer one, this one. I think it was worth going player by player, though. There was a lot to cover with different players and stuff. And then obviously looking ahead to Chelsea. So yeah, thanks as always for the support, everyone. Fingers crossed we get the job done on Wednesday and make our lives a bit easier for the second leg, which I think is start of Feb. So yeah, we will catch you later on in the week. Cheers, everyone. Up the Arsenal.
And when you Reds.